Hi, BookTube. I decided I would film this video in my main study. This is my main study. This is where I go when I suppose this is my main study. I don't really come in here this much. I did more when the kids were growing up, but we lived in this house going on 27 years, and when our kids were growing up, I didn't have the basement. That's where our boys had their living quarters, and our daughter had a bedroom, and we had a bedroom, and I had this study, and this is where I would go after coming home from work, or on the weekends when I was reading or writing. Or I used to have a stereo in here years ago, and I had earphones and I would listen to music in here. But now I have a stereo system in the living room with all my CDs, and yeah, so I don't really come in here much. I have books in here. You know, it is going on 9 o'clock at night here in Michigan. Today is the 23rd of December. There's Jack Kerouac poster that my daughter gave me many years ago. There's James Joyce. There's Crookedfingers, who is a music artist. There's skeletons and books and books. There's Jack Kerouac, Margaret Fuller, one of the American Transcendentalists, and Ancient Commentary series, and Spanish mysticism, and all kinds of books. Up there's Proust, Robert Stone, just all kinds of books. CDs. I got CDs here. I spend more on music than on books, to tell you the truth. There's the thing, and there's a flag from some metal group. Incantation, I think, was the metal group. There is a Bruce Springsteen box set. This is Born to Run box set. I like early Springsteen. There's a DVD, Breakfast at Tiffany's, with Audrey Hepburn and George Pepper. So yeah, this is my main study. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. Got pictures of our granddaughters. There's Louisa and Margaret, and it's a picture of Josephine Joy. There's an old picture of my wife and me. So yeah, here's a wedding picture 38 years ago. So yeah, so I came in here because I was going to do a tag. I came across this tag in BookTube, and I don't do tags because most tags you have to be really well read in novels, science fiction, fantasy, and most of my knowledge in books is nonfiction, theology, church history, Christian spirituality, history of biblical interpretation, things like that. 17th century English Puritan spirituality and theology, and the Bible, of course, Old and New Testament, biblical theology, New Testament theology, Pauline theology. So a lot of those tags I can't really identify with. But this tag I came across is called the Buying Books tag. And so these are the questions. Where do you buy your books from? Well, as those who watch my video know, that most of my books I buy from thrift stores. I go to Salvation Army, Goodwill, different thrift stores run by church groups like Bibles to Mexico, Action House, which provides clothing and furniture and food for poor people. And I go to the Holland Rescue Mission thrift store, which has used books. And I buy books from Amazon, used books from Amazon, and sometimes I buy new books from Amazon. And plus, those who watch the video know that I volunteer at the library used bookstore, and I get a lot of books from there. I get books from used book sales here in this area. There's book sales in July in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 4th of July used book sale. There's a spring book sale here at the library here in Holland. There is a book sale in September here in Holland. These are all big used book sales, and so I go to those. So yeah, that's where I get most of my books from. 2, do you ever pre-order books? If you do so, yeah, I pre-order a lot of books from Amazon. Yeah, I do a lot of pre-order. You get discounts, 20% off, 25%. I order CDs. I pre-order CDs too from Amazon. On the average, how many books do you buy a month? Well, I went through my December 2016 diary, and I averaged 54 books this month. Some I bought from Amazon, some I got from the library used bookstore, and some I got through thrift stores. So I think I would average around 50 books a month. If I go to a used book sale, it might wind up being 100 books a month. But usually I think an average is 50 to 54 books. Now it's winter time. Now in the winter time, I don't like driving in snow or ice or rain. And so I don't go to thrift stores as I would if... Now tomorrow is supposed to be nice weather. But for those who watch my video know I have anxiety issues, and I don't like driving because I'm always afraid somebody's going to slam into me or something horrible is going to happen to me. So sometimes I just can't leave the house. And plus it's winter, so I probably won't buy that many books due to the bad weather. But there are local thrift stores, 3 around where I live. They're only about 5-6 minutes, and it's easy to get to, so I'll probably go to those, not the ones north of town. 4, do you use your local library? Yeah, once in a while I'll check a book out of the library, but I don't like doing it because I'd rather have the book, buy the book, or have it in my library. But I do use the local library. 5, so how many books can you, well, usually I just borrow or check out one book at a time. It's usually a new book or a book I want to check out before buying it. 6, what is your opinion on library books? I think for many years when I was homeless and poor, that's where I got all my books, were from libraries. Seminary libraries there in Berkeley, California, and San Francisco, California. I went to seminary libraries and checked out books. When I lived in Houston, I went to St. Mary's Seminary because there were no bookstores that had books that I needed for my internship as a minister student there in Houston, Texas. So I go to St. Mary's Seminary, check out books. And so I think it's great to have not only public libraries, but special libraries. Here in Grand Rapids, you have really great libraries and special libraries, and John Calvin, Reformation, Puritan. So I really like libraries. 7, how do you feel about charity shops? Well, as I just said, I go to thrift stores all the time. It's great to find books. Most of the books I want to read are books from the past, or I usually find everything I want to read at thrift stores or used book sales. 8, do you keep your read and to be read piled together? Not really. I do have a pile of books that I have in the living room that I am reading, but I have books down in our lower level library that I'm also to be read. So I don't have really a special place for to be read books, but if I say anything, it's usually in the living room on a coffee table, and then I have books here on my desk, Christian books that I want to read, to be read. Like I'm reading this, The Christian's Only Comfort in Life and Death. I just mentioned this, Exposition in Heidelberg, 2 volumes by a Dutch Puritan, Theodore van der Groe, and I'm reading Gregory the Great, more reflections. So these are things to be read. So I do keep my Christian books here on my main study on my desk. It's a to be read pile. 9, do you plan to read all the books that you own? No, it's impossible. As I've said in my videos, I'm mainly a book collector. I find one writer, or I collect books on a certain subject, like 17th century English Puritanism, 19th century American biography. I collect books on John Updike, Joyce Carol Oates, Norman Mailer, Timothy Leary, Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, Philip Roth. It goes on and on. And I collect all these books, and I'm sure I won't read them all. So I'm mainly a book collector. I collect books. 10, what do you do with books that you own that you would feel you never read or felt and do not enjoy? I keep all my books, even if I don't like them, or I buy them and I don't find them enjoyable, and I keep them. And I have given doubles to the library used bookstore. I do that. 11, have you ever donated books? Yes, I donate books to the library used bookstore. 12, have you ever been on the book buying ban? No, I have all the money I need for books. When I was working, I saved money and invested. I have investments and I have Social Security, and no, I don't ban myself from books. I do keep within a certain limit each month. I try not to spend over $300 a month on books. I do buy a lot of CDs. When I go to thrift stores, I spend $20 a week. Amazon, I spend around $300. So I know I don't have any ban. I just buy what I want to buy, because there's always something to buy if you're a book lover. 13, do you feel that you buy too many books? Yes, I buy too many books, but if you're a book lover, there's never too many books. I do plan to have a book sale maybe in the spring, because I'm running out of room, and I probably will have a book sale. But I'm not really sure, because I have sold books in the past. Several years ago, I sold 1,000 Christian books to a Christian books used bookstore, and I kind of regret it, even though I never read them, and I was in a different place spiritually, and I no longer read those books, and I thought other people could enjoy them. But usually I don't get rid of any books, not anymore. I just keep them and find a place to stack them and cram them on a shelf or put them somewhere. So anyway, that was the book buying tag. So I think the tag is like 4 years old. I came across it on BookTube. So that's what's going on here. As far as today I did, I went through my 2016 diaries from January to December. Books I read throughout the year 2016. If you want to know, this is 10 pages. I could read all the books that I read throughout 2016, but you can read about what I read in my online diary, Crookedfingers. You'll find the site address at the bottom of this video. So I did that all morning. I usually don't read that much, really, throughout the year. What else? In my diary today, I've finished on page 1038. So tomorrow, on December the 24th, I'll be on page 1039. So I hope you have a good Christmas and a happy or blessed New Year. I'll probably make a video tomorrow. I'll probably do a video on Christmas too, because my wife works this weekend and I'll be all by myself. So yeah. So until next time, bye.